Hello everyone, welcome back to another one of our how-to videos in the Foil Guys channel. If you would like to follow along with me, we are going to be discussing how to do the wand from Little Witch Academia. Now, for those of you who've been with this channel for any length of time, you'd know that there's 3 basic techniques that you need to have down, and you'll be able to do pretty much anything with time, practice, and application. That, of course, being molding 3D shapes, being able to pinch in designs or details, and learning how to attach things without glue, just layering and pinching and folding using the 2 techniques mentioned earlier. And that's all that we're going to be doing today. So whether or not you'll be using this for cosplay, for personal trophy uses perhaps, that will entirely be up to you. But for the sake of Chariot's Wand, understand there's going to be 3 aspects, just like there will be 3 steps in doing all of these things, in making the handle and making the stick for the wand and making the horseshoe symbol at the end of it, which we will discuss in this video. So if you can start with me, just as a little bit of a practice run, take an aluminum foil grade, and just a recommendation, I would not recommend getting dollar store foil if you plan on using this for a cosplay. Otherwise you're going to have to keep layering it to make it more resilient. It's better to just get tougher foil. I prefer the Costco brand, but that's just me. So if you can pull out, and note the wand itself will generally be about 18 inches to a foot long if you're going to go by American measurement, we'll just tear off a piece of foil that length and take this approach piece by piece. So with that length in mind, just use this as your template. You have a section set off mentally for where you're going to roll the stick, where you're going to put the handle, and where we'll work on the symbol on the top. Now obviously for the symbol, it's going to curve at an arc like this and then point outwards at the end. So we'll just tear 2 pieces, but leave the rest open to work with later. Keep in mind how long you want the stick end of the wand to be, and tear that section off as well. And keep these all in sections and use this as the handle. Now for the handle, it's going to be fairly straightforward. With an open hand and taking the entire piece of foil underneath, my hand's not going to change any shape or position than what it's in right now. My thumb will move up, but that's about it. What I want you to do is to roll the piece of foil so that you can grip it in its entirety. You see the top of my fingers and my thumb gripping the thing just as if it was already a wand, which in case it is, we're just trying to find it. And keep and notice the amount of pressure that I'm applying to it. Very gently doing this kind of motion, keeping that space in the middle so that you will fit that much space when all is said and done. You don't go further than that. But just molding and pressing in gently without going any further than this to retain that shape, and then you will have the handle. See the 3D shape that we have here. Now the bottom, obviously it's going to come in at more of a cap and it won't be the same length as this. So what I want you all to do with me is to, with an open hand, fold it over and press it in. And notice with my other hand as support, this is essentially the guard, you're going to do the same kind of molding technique but with an open hand. That'll give you some space to work with. Now, obviously this is fairly flat on the end but not exactly consistent on the edges, so all you have to do is just press in on the sides and then just keep doing that in order to retain the shape that you want. Little pinches here and there to make it solid and smooth, and notice that's all I'm doing with my hands and fingers, just pressing in where I think it needs to be more solid, and we have the bottom end of the wand. On the top it'll be the same issue. We press in and mold using my hand as the grip to know where it's going to stop and where it's going to end, and you have that space. Now, so that we can see this a little better, I'm going to do the stick end, and hopefully this will be easy for those of you who know arts and crafts. You're just going to be rolling it like a piece of play-doh. I'm more used to the pinching technique, but for the sake of beginners listening, we'll just do this the most simple way possible. Crushing it to as low and as firm a length as I possibly can. I'll just roll it, and so it looks like a stick. And going all the way to the end of where I want the wand to be, I will keep doing so until it is about the length and the thickness that I want it to be. And so obviously we're starting to get somewhere as far as looking like the wand. It obviously deserves a little adjustment, but fortunately this isn't the end result. And note, all I'm using are my 3 main fingers, not my pinky, but also for my thumbs. I will be pressing in and adjusting, just like with this, watch, just pressing and adjusting where I see fit, pinching along the edges to make it look more like a spread out, 3D pyramid-like shape, if you will, and just pressing in, just like we did before with the handle, wherever I see fit. Now obviously that's not going to resist much weight. If I shake it around, it's going to come apart. So what we're going to do to improvise, and note this will be instructions for when you're doing this at the Comic-Con or wherever you're cosplaying. Little maintenance here and there. Just tear off small pieces and layer it. Pinch them in. Notice what I'm doing. I'm just pinching the piece in with the 3D shape that's already been established and wrapping it around as I see fit. And once it looks like it's supposed to, that's all that really needs to be done. It's for it to look right. And now we have something a little bit more sturdy. Now this is where we get into the fine details. We have the handle, we have the stick part of the wand, but we need the symbol, because this is what's going to set it apart from any other Hocus Pocus style wand. We're not talking Harry Potter, this is Little Witch Academia. So starting first and foremost, and we're going to be using these 3 fingers primarily, the thumb, your pointer, and your middle finger on each hand. What I want you to do is to press in that sort of shape that's going to make the top end below the horseshoe symbol. And with that in mind, you just have to make something small. If you want to make it thicker, then just add another layer, tear off a small piece, fold it to give it some thickness, and wrap it around. That will be basically all that you need to do. Now for the horseshoe symbol, this is where we start to get a little bit more technical. There's a point in the middle, so I'm going to start there with my thumbs as the base. See what I have here? I've already sort of preemptively, subconsciously, or magically, if you will, thought this through. I'm going to, just like imagining your fingers as a pencil sharpener, twisting and pinching at the same time, doing this sort of technique until I have a point. Now, if you can all see that on camera, that's all that was done. Just treating it like a pencil sharpener, I pinch and twist until it comes to a point. And I have the second stage in what will ultimately be the completed product. Now, same thing that we did for the stick, we're going to just use our 3 fingers and twist and roll this into a straight line. But obviously not all the way to the end, because this part will be bending outwards at a point. Do the same thing for this until it looks like a mini pitchfork. Might be what they were going for there, but that's another topic. And we are starting to make progress. Now, obviously there's a little bit of an error here. We need to make sure that this end and these 2 ends are separate, so I'm going to push in my fingers, give it a little distance, and that is starting to look a little better, isn't it? Now with this then as the wand, I'm going to do the same thing that I did for this, and rolling it, and this, catch this, in bringing it to a point by pinching and twisting it out. And that is all that you need to do. You can see the video of this being done very quickly and without any audio commentary in the Foil Guy channel. You can just look up Little Witch Academia wand. Now, if you want to bring these then in, just understand it is that simple. Foil is a very forgiving medium. You're allowed to make mistakes, but you can also just as easily adjust them. And with that, we have our wand. Let me know if you have questions, want clarification on some of the other points. Feel free to share on our Facebook page, The Foil Guy Facebook, if you use these for any cosplay activities. And of course, the support for these art projects will be appreciated. Now go and enjoy just showing off this gift, and I look forward to seeing how you all use your talents in the same way that I hope I'm encouraging you and doing mine as well. Thank you guys for your time, and I look forward to seeing you again, where we will do more of these foil videos as per your requests.